Welcome back. I'm Adam, functional bodybuilding coach and physical therapist. Today we're going to work on the front side of the legs, quads and hip flexors. All you'll need today is either a band or some object that's about knee height. So maybe a medicine ball, a short bench, a stack of pillows even. So we're going to start in the same position that you always find me in at the start of these videos, which is this heel sit position. So I'm going to turn to the side a little bit just so you can see me better. We're just going to hang in this position just to start to warm up the quads, warm up the knees a little bit. If this is something that's uncomfortable for you, you can move into a hands and knees position. So from here, then just slowly rocking the butt back. Again, easing into that position, eventually trying to get the butt to the heel. So again, if this is painful on the knee, if it's not comfortable for the knee, start in this position and ease into it. If this is something that's easy for you, comfortable for you, then just bring it back to this full heel sit position and just hang here, okay? We're gonna go about a minute in this position. You just, rock side to side, move around a little bit. But again, just an easy warm up before we start to get into some of our more aggressive stretching. Okay, now as we're approaching that minute, we're gonna work more in this position, going up and down from this position. So we're gonna start in our tall kneeling position, and then we're just gonna sit the butt back towards the heels, slow and controlled, and then come back up, okay? Sitting into the heel, slow and controlled, and then coming back up. The whole time, I want you to think about pushing the tops of the feet and the shins down into the floor, just to keep a little bit of engagement through the quads. So again, I push down into the floor, I slowly lower, and then I come back up. We're gonna go through about 10 of these. Again, if this is a position that's not very comfortable for you, an easy way to regress it is by using a band. So just by holding onto the band for a little bit of assistance, then easing into that position again. Even if you can't get butt all the way to heel, that's okay. And then just come back up. Just go to where you're comfortable and then come back up. Okay, I'm going to just show a couple more without the band. Knees are starting to warm up a little bit more. Quads are starting to warm up a little bit more. And one more. Okay, so we're going to go to another similar position, just a little bit more aggressive. So now you're going to need that knee height object. Again, if you don't have anything like this around the home, you can use the band as well. So I'll show both variations. So we're going to go into our, it's called a reclining hero pose. So I'm just going to lay on back, stretching through the quads and the hip flexors. Now again, there's a lot of adjustments you can make to this position to make more comfortable for you. So if you want to put the object even lower, make it a little bit more of aggressive a stretch. If you want a little higher object, it'll make it a little bit less intense of a stretch. So we're going to hang out here for about a minute. Again, I like to kind of just wiggle around a little bit. I like to squeeze my butt, bring my butt up so I feel a little bit more stretch through the hip flexors. Sometimes I even just put my arms overhead, do a little arm stretch while I'm hanging out in this position. And just exhaling deep, big exhales, really sinking into the position. Okay, again, if you don't have an object like this, same exact concept with the band. So here, using that band to just have me ease into this position. Okay. So we're gonna just hold, hang on for the rest of that minute before moving to our next stretch. All right, so next stretch, you can still use this object actually just for a little bit of balance support. I like using something for balance just so I can focus more on the stretch. But we're gonna go into a half kneeling hip flexor stretch. So again, this is our half kneeling position. From here, we're just gonna shift our body weight forward until we feel a stretch on that back hip flexor, in through the front of that back hip. So again, I'll show you from a couple different angles so you can see, but I get my chest nice and upright, sink into this front leg, stretching through that back hip, and we're just gonna hang here, again, just for a minute. Okay, on this one we'll do a minute on each side. So again, you don't need the balance support for this one. If you want to just put both hands here on this front leg to balance, that's okay. Good. Again, exhale, sink into the stretch. Okay, and as we approach that minute, we'll then switch sides. I'm going to show you, so you can see the other leg in this position. So again, I sink into this stretch, knee goes forward on this front leg, pulling through this back hip flexor. And again, big exhale, sinking into the stretch. As always, only go as far as you comfortably can. Again, if you're here and you already feel a stretch, that's perfectly okay. All we're trying to do is get a little pull through that front of the leg, especially the front of the hip. But if you can sink a little bit deeper, awesome, go for it. Okay, so as we approach that minute, we're going to take that stretch again and just add another layer on top of it. We're going to move toward that front split, okay? So again, a lot of you may need some assistance on this. So if you have some objects that you could just put on the side of your hands for a little bit of assistance, that's a nice easy option. So I'm actually going to start just using this same exact object to assist me into this front split. So again, I'm going to take my front leg out straight, and I'm just going to hang in this position. And again, I'm just holding onto this object for a little bit of support, okay? Just to make this stretch a little bit more comfortable. I'm trying to get nice and upright for this front split position. If it's not something that's comfortable for you, a couple ways to make it easier. Besides using the object for assistance, you can also just bend this front knee. Make it a little bit less of aggressive of a stretch. So now I'm stretching through this front hamstring, but focus for today, I'm stretching on this back hip flexor again. So nice good stretch through the hip flexor on my left leg, and a nice good stretch through my hamstring on this right leg. Again, I'm going to use my object, straighten this front leg, finish out the minute on this side before switching sides, okay? So same thing on the other side. I'm going to bring my object to this side. Try to not block too much for you guys. So again, I'll start with my knee bent on this side, not using any object for balance support. You can see this back hip is moving into a lot of hip extension. So I'm really working through this hip flexor on this front leg. And actually when I keep my knee bent like this, I can prioritize this hip flexor just a little bit more, okay? Maybe for the last 30 seconds, I'll try to straighten this leg, use my hands for assistance, still trying to keep my torso upright. Again, exhaling, sinking into that stretch. Awesome. Okay. Slowly come out of that front split position. And just our last movement, something that's familiar for all of you, we're just going to go through that squat. Okay. We've stretched out the quads. We've moved the knees around a lot. So now we're just going to feel how that squat feels. Just sit down in that bottom position. Hang out there for a little bit. Okay. Again, we'll hang out for about a minute. You can rock back and forth. Rock side to side a little bit. Just trying to get comfortable in this position. Again, this is something you'll see in your training, right? Getting good at those squat positions. So after we've just worked on all this range of motion, improved some of the tissue on the front of the leg, just want to retest that squat position. All right, so if that felt good, your knees are feeling better, front side of your legs are feeling a little bit looser, you can end there. If you want a little bit more, just go through that same routine one more time.